Hey, what's happening, gamers? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the road to Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. This is more of Lego Batman 2, where we're really doing some free play and unlocking the characters. And, I don't know. I'm not in the best mood today. Place that I had my hopes on basically said you're not going to get the place, and it was a really, really nice apartment in upstate New York that would have fit our needs and all kinds of stuff. And they're like, the landlord said no. So the broker said yes, the landlord said no. And that sucks. So I'm a little disappointed. We still have a lady we're working with who has like 6 other properties. So it's a completely different, realtor or whatever. But it's annoying because that one would have met our needs, and these other places are very small. So it'd be like you live there for a year, and then when a better apartment opens up or house or whatever, then you move. But I don't know, because it's not. None of the other ones are gonna have enough room for. The bedrooms are small. The office is gonna just basically they explain it to me this way: you'd be able to fit, if you have an office, you'd be able to fit a desk, a couch, and a TV and an air conditioner maybe, but there's no closet space. So basically, if you have like claustrophobia, it's like a small boxed-in room. And they said the other room might fit a queen size bed, and these are the other things that she has available. And I'm just like, well, that's gonna be incredibly compact. So I don't know, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. I don't have a lot of time. The one place that we really, were hoping for, they're like, oh, the eviction process started a month ago and it could take 3 months. It's like 3 months. It's like we have to be out of here before the end of May. Our last day here can be June 2nd, but I mean, so it's just like I'm probably going to just end up moving somewhere and live there for like 6 months to a year and then move somewhere else. Just get out there, and but it's like the cost of moving is always so expensive. It's like, it's irritating. So I don't know, I'm a little down today, so apologies for that. I just feel like kind of like blah. Because I was like, wow, this is a apartment that's like below our price range. It's in a good location, beautiful wood floors, great lighting for vlogs, and a beautiful kitchen and all this other stuff. Yeah, no air conditioning. Yeah, no dishwasher. Okay, but it has 2 bathrooms, so one bathroom moved for Link. So that's the other thing. Most of these other places, they only have one bathroom. So where the heck am I going to put Link's box? You know? I know, first world problems, but I'm really bummed. I'm just like kind of blah. Alright. No, there's no place that's going to fit us. It's just going to be a temporary thing. Speaking of Mr. Link, hello, Mr. Link. Wait, is Ace Chemicals where we need to be? Yeah, Ace Chemicals is next, I think. Ah! Linky, don't jump on me. You jumped on me anyway. Oh! Ow! Ow, ow, ow. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Oh, she ate all the cookies? She ate all the cookies. Well, that happened, Link. Okay. So yeah, Amber, because I was on the. I'll just tell you the story. So things were going really well. Filled out the application. We showed the urgency in the place. You want to know what was the killer of that apartment? They were like, "What are you going to use the rooms for?" I said, "I'd like to use like one of the rooms for like storage, and you know, one's for an office for working outside our home because we have like, you know, we have a YouTube job." And she's like, "Oh, interesting." And she's like, "What are you?" I said, well, I said, "The business has changed over the years, so I guess I would be a live streamer." And she's like, "Oh." And I'm like, "What? What's oh?" And she says, "What else?" It's like, "Well, I mean, my wife has a violin and a piano." And she's like, "Uh-huh." And so as soon as I mentioned the violin and piano, like the landlord or the whoever, the apartment helper lady called back and she said, "I spoke to the landlord and she said, we will not be going forward with you and we're removing the showing of the apartment to your family in New York, so don't even bother having them come." I'm just like, what the heck? It's like, I'm charming this lady with my voice, as Amber says. Like, I have a very, I don't know, I guess I make women swoon when I talk. So I was being super polite to this lady for a couple days. And then all of a sudden she writes me back with that and calls me up with this. I'm just like, what in the world? So I was trying to figure it out, like, what's wrong? And then it turns out the landlady who lives there is an older woman. Like, when I mean older, think of her like 60s, probably 70 years old. So she's probably thinking my wife is going to be belting her violin, which violins are really loud, you know? And the difference between living in a condo and living in a house apartment is the floors are very thin between stuff. That's why houses are cheaper. Like, apartment houses are cheaper than apartment complexes. Apartment complexes have pretty good soundproofing. Houses do not. So, what this lady probably thinks is, like, Amber and I are going to keep her up, like, at all hours of the night. My live streams are wicked loud. Do you think my live streams are loud? I don't think I'm, like, one of those loud, obnoxious streamers, either. Like, I just talk on the microphone. I don't even shout, really. So, I don't know. I was just very, like, irritated. It's kind of like, you know, she's acting like I'm a delinquent or something. Just like, what the heck, man? And also, I stayed up all day to talk to the person, too. So I didn't even get a lot of sleep. So by the time Amber got home from work, like around 1 o'clock, I was still awake. You know? So I was really upset. And Amber told me, too, like, out of all the places we looked at, that was the nicest place. And I agree, it was the nicest place. So it's a bummer. Because the other places are okay, but they're not, like, I don't know. They're okay. Sounds like I dodged a bullet with that lady. Maybe. I don't know. But it did feel like YouTube discrimination. Like, I can't help it if my job is is a streamer. I'm not one of those streamers that makes the news and does controversial stuff or is super loud and obnoxious. I let the microphone do the work, you know? I might raise my voice every once in a while, but I'm not, like, shouting at the top of my lungs. It's like, what kind of YouTube stuff is she watching to think I'm one of those obnoxious YouTubers? I'm insulted. Whatever. So, this other lady is the lady that we told you about that we've been working with, and she's trying to evict this really bad tenant, and she sees Amber and I as a very good tenant. The problem is she doesn't have any places open until the middle of May. So, our moving company has a floating reservation between, like, May 2nd and May 28th. So, you know, but her apartments are smaller, and her rooms are much smaller than... And like I said, I'm not claustrophobic, I don't think. But the way that she's describing the bedrooms, like, I'm barely going to be able to fit, like, any of the stuff that we need. Like, here I was able to easily fit, like, a couple bookcases and, my gosh, some some computer desks, some arcade cabinets. She says the living room is really bad, but she says the living room is really big, and the kitchens are enormous, like in her places. And you know, I think Amber deserves a big kitchen. She's always sacrificed like a small kitchen. We even had a very small kitchenette, as they called it in Boston. Like we had a loft apartment with 2 bedrooms. You guys saw it. The Boston place was like the pinnacle place to live. Like it was by far, like, there's been no place but Boston that we've lived in the nicest place ever. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to turn the living room into an office again. But the way that she's describing it, the living room is the only place that would fit an office. So I'm just kind of like, oh. Because before, like, you know, New York felt like it was a trade up, but now no air conditioner, no dishwasher. I'm gonna have to buy several air conditioner units, and it's like, where am I gonna put my stuff? Like the valuable stuff. I put it in storage, you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna get stolen, especially if it's game related. I've got arcade cabinets, I've got computers, I've got, what do you call it? I've got servers. Like, what the heck? And this is why I don't like it when apartments say, yeah, we're not renewing the lease. Because when they do this nonsense, it's like, I don't have enough time to find a place that's going to be adequate. You know, I have a timetable of, okay, I have to be out of here, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's no good apartments opening up. I'm lucky that the apartments are in nice areas. They're not in crime-ridden areas. That's great. But most of the places are so small in comparison. It's like we're going from, like, 1,800 square feet to, like, 1,300. And the bedrooms are, seriously, any one of them are going to make me claustrophobic. A bed and a, like, the way she's describing, she's like, you could fit a queen-size bed and maybe, like, a side table for a nightstand. I'm just like, what the heck? Like, what is this, like, prison? And 1 bathroom? Where am I going to put Link? Where's Link's box going to go? You know, all these questions. It almost feels like I'm moving into the cabin that we lived in when Amber and I attended school. When Amber and I were in college together in New York, our cabin consisted of a very small kitchen, small living room, tiny bathroom, 1 bedroom, and that was it. You know, it was there was no real living room. It was like kind of like the dining room and the kitchen were one thing. You open the door and boom, there you go, you know? But there's nothing I can do about it, you know? There's absolutely nothing I can do. I have to go where a place is. Uh-oh, the thing's not opening again. We need you to open up. But yeah, sorry for venting, guys. Sometimes I vent on my streams. It's like, you know, this is what's happening in my life right now, and I'm really, I don't know, I'm kind of depressed. Mostly angry, but yeah, a little depressed. But I will tell you this, the lady we're working with, she's been a peach, an absolute peach. Ever since, like, February, or not February, ever since, like, March, the first week of March, she was one of the first realtors I spoke to, and the other realtors, you know, they didn't work out, you know? And also, you have to be aware of scams in New York now. Apparently, there's realtor scams. So you have to be super careful who you work with and who you give money to and stuff like that, because people are getting scammed. It's a thing in New York where people are, these tenants, they think they're, you know, talking to the landlord and they're paying way more than they should for a security deposit. And the people take the money and run, and then when they get evicted or whatever, they have no money. They end up homeless and stuff like that. It's a big crisis in New York right now that they don't really have a plan, like the state of New York, to deal with that. They've just been issuing warnings about, like, hey, this is what you need to be careful of. So... But the reason why I'm, you know, trusting this lady is because she's been in an eviction process with... She has very bad tenants. She wants a tenant out that has domestic abuse. She wants a tenant out that doesn't pay their rent. And she wants another tenant out that had a bulldog that messed up one of her apartments. So that apartment is being repaired. You know, she would love to rent to people that actually pay on time. She likes the fact that we pay... As soon as we get paid, you know, our check, which as soon as Amber and I get paid on YouTube, like around the 18th or 19th, we pay rent automatically. It's the first thing we do. Rent's always due on the first of the month. We pay, you know, we're really responsible tenants or whatever. So, of course, a landlord would want to work with somebody that is responsible. Because they've been renting out to a bunch of losers. And even now, she says, I'm trying to work with this couple... But they've only called me once about the apartment, and they're very nice and everything, but she says, what I appreciate about you is, she says, you're very business savvy. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm a New Yorker too, and also, when it comes to business, yeah, I need to make sure that things are going to get done, because I need to be settled where I'm going, so I can work on the next thing. Like, you know, getting the place secured and getting the security deposit taken care of, and getting my parents to see the place, those are the main priorities. Once that's done, then it's all about, like, packing and organizing and calling the moving company and making sure this is happening. Then I have to start preparations for getting this place cleaned up, hiring the carpet company. I have, like, a floating reservation for the guy to come and clean the carpets, but, you know, that needs to be locked down, too. And you have to pay those agency in advance. And I haven't been able to pay the guy yet. You know? So it's like there's almost like 101 things that I have to do that I can't be worrying about. Okay, where are we going to be living? I need that taken care of, like, within the next week or so. Because I'm running out of time. So, of course, I'm going to be diligent and be like, hey, it's just like, for me, working with this landlord lady or whatever she is, it's how I work with game developers. Like, I do what's known as follow-ups. If I don't hear from the developer about, you know, what's going on with this game release, what's going on with this review copy, I follow up. Usually I follow up like every 4 days or something like that. And if they don't, you know, do my email, I call them and I use my New York voice. Be like, what's going on? You know, I thought we had an agreement with this. You know, I get all New York on people because I need to see things getting done. I don't like waiting around. I'm not a very patient person. It needs to happen, like, within the time that it needs to happen. I don't wait around and just, like, put it for chance, especially when there's a sense of urgency. And the sense of urgency is, I gotta be out of here by June 2nd. So, you know, if I can get this thing locked down, the sooner the better, because I have 1,000,001 things I gotta do before I get out of this dump. You know what I mean? Plus, I gotta work still. Like, I have to live stream. I have to do a bunch of stuff in between that. So, I've got to do my job. I've got to pack the house. Got to take care of the Zelda situation. Got to take care of the apartment in New York. Got to take care of the cleaning company. Got to hire the maid service. You know, need to make the money for the streaming and all this other stuff. Got to figure out what to do with crowdfunding. There's so many hats that I'm juggling right now. It's very, very annoying. So apologies if streams have been starting later. I've been up more. I've been doing all kinds of stuff. That just, it takes so long, you know? Oops. And that's going to be a problem. Sorry about that, Robin. Alright, we need Baldy McBaldy. Was that not it? I thought that's all glowy and stuff. Huh? What does that mean? It's glowy, I'm looking at it. What? Huh? Oh, it's really dark. I see now. It's super, super dark. That's what's going on. I was like, that's weird. What did I do exactly? That was just for studs? That's super lame. Hi, sweet pea. You look cute. What is this? Oh. Oh. Well, Link looks cute and he doesn't do nothing. Yeah, I know. He's a cat, and cats are adorable. Look at that. Look how cute the little kitty is. No, it's one of those things, honey, where I tried to wheel and deal. Because you say I'm a natural charmer, so I tried to call the lady back, and I was like, look, we can come to some kind of agreement. Also, I said, I'm not one of those streamers that you see on the internet that's, like, screaming and jumping up and down like a chimpanzee. I talk on a microphone. The microphone does all the work for me.
And the fact that she thought I was gonna be... I don't even get a chance to play the fact that she thought I was gonna be playing. Of course, I did want to do lessons or something, but... Piano isn't even that loud. You can turn the electric piano down.
Yeah, the piano's not a problem, but the Moxie expressed concern about the violin thing too. But
I don't even get a chance to play my
I know. I told her that. I said, Amber will probably go somewhere to play that. That's not a problem. And her piano has, you know, I got her a special piano that has volume control. You know. And she has special headphones. I said, when we stream, we talk on a microphone. You know, we're very, very quiet. I've never had... The only time I've had tenant, like, people knock on my wall is if Amber and I are getting into a tiff. They've never, ever pounded on the wall when we're streaming. Even when I'm streaming at, like, 2 in the morning.
You saw that boy?
Well, yeah, because I was upset. I was like, I don't like, I was, you know?
Yeah, we don't really...
And we don't even fight that much.
A tiff, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work in the morning, is because if I'm here... Like, I even explained it to people at my job. And said, like, the amount that I get upset or stressed out is the amount that I'm tired. So if I am sharing videos and working on the channel from 7 a.m. until 5, and then you get up at 5 and you're like, can you do this X, Y, and Z? And it stresses me out because I'm already exhausted. Mm-hmm. But if I come home from walking around, I haven't really done a lot on the channel, and I'm ready to do something else, I'm ready to help on the channel because I worked somewhere else, I'm not as stressed out because I didn't, my mind, it takes a lot of, working on the channel takes more mental stress than working, like, so doing stuff for a restaurant. Mm-hmm. When I'm working at the restaurant, I'm just running around and just doing the same thing over and over again. But working on the channel is much harder than that.
Well, there's a lot of work that goes into...
draining.
The only time that the channel wasn't very difficult to work in is when we weren't shadow banned, because we would get views and, you know...
It was still mentally draining, because you always had to come up...
Well, you had to come up with new ideas,
You had to come up with new ideas. Like, today I was trying to grind a little bit in Marvel Rivals after my stream, but I didn't get a lot of chances because the views were doing so badly. Yeah. And so I tried to help with the views. I didn't get that far.
I drowned it. Whoopsies.
It's almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock, so I was apologizing to people for starting so late, and Pokemon's gonna be late. I was... Because I get depressed, people, okay? And also, like, I was told I needed to be up on the phone because the landlord was going to finalize the decision today. So it's like, I stayed up.
Sad that I don't feel like we did anything wrong.
No, I feel like we're being... I feel like, basically, like, she thinks that we're, like, one of those, like, dashy people or PewDiePie that's, like, super loud and obnoxious. And...
Like, they didn't even look at our channel.
No, and they even said, your income is perfect for this place. But your job isn't. I'm just like, what does that even mean? It's like... Like,
literally, it's like podcast style. Ugh. Like, we're not even loud. I wish she would just look at some of our videos. Mm-hmm. And see that we're not Like, maybe we should just say that we upload documentaries or something.
Everything was going great until like she wanted proof of income. I showed proof of income and it said YouTube on it. It's like, what am I supposed to do? It's like, that's my job. You know? It's like, what did she think that I was doing? Like, I was a writer or something? Yeah, I always give full transparency to people. You know, I work from home. I'm a YouTube partner. That's my job. Because people don't, when I say content creator, they're like, I don't know what that is. It's like, should I just tell people I'm a drug dealer? Does that make you feel better? Get the place now?
Did you hear that the person that sold substances to Matthew Perry?
No.
He died.
Yeah, I remember Matthew Perry.
The guy who sold him that just got 15 years in prison.
Well, he should have, because he killed him. He got him addicted to drugs.
Unfortunately, Matthew Perry won't be this after his 15 years.
Yeah, I know.
I'll never come back.
It's very sad, you know. Celebrities and drugs is a thing, though. Like, it's...
But that's what I'm saying. I think being creative is hard. That's why Matthew Perry probably did that. Because it's hard to keep coming up with... He even mentioned that in an interview. It was hard for him to consistently try to have to be funny all the time. He always had to be funny. He couldn't ever be just sort of there. He always had to make people laugh.
Well, what's great about... I don't try to make people laugh. What's great about usually our job is there's so many new games that come out that, like, you know, every game we look at has, like, a different way of us, like, doing stuff, you know, because every experience is different.
It mixes it up so you're not always doing the same.
Right. That's why I like variety. It's like, as a gamer, too, what kind of programmed me to do this kind of, like, content, you know, even at a young age, is I was never satisfied with just one type of genre as a kid. It's like, a new game would come out, I'd be fascinated by it, or I'd go rent it. It'd be like, one week I'd be playing an RPG, the next week it would be a puzzle game, a fighting game, action game.
Boston, where we used to live. I just realized that they never said anything about us working rent.
In Boston?
Yeah, they didn't have a problem with it.
All they cared was if we paid the rent, and if we were, you know, we weren't making too much noise, and we never made too much noise.
Also, like, why couldn't I just soundproof my room if I was gonna...
Well, I mean, this is the other thing that they're not thinking about, because I have to have air conditioner units. Air conditioner units are not quiet.
Right.
You do understand. The benefit of central air is central air runs quiet. Air conditioner units in the window, like when I'm live streaming, I'm going to have to program...
Well,
let me finish. When I'm live streaming, wherever room I'm going to be in, if it's a living room or a bedroom or whatever, I'm going to have to turn off the air conditioner while I'm streaming and program it to come on after I'm streaming, because people will hear the air conditioner running on our equipment because they're loud. So there'd be no way that even if somebody lived above us or below us, if I was streaming, that you would be able to hear, because even if I turn off the air conditioner in the room I'm in, there's going to be other air conditioners running, like window units, in the house to keep the house cool. So you would hear that, and you wouldn't even hear our voices.
It's very disappointing. Like, that they were judging us based on something they didn't know anything about. It's because we're so quiet.
Yeah, so...
Like, we literally live next to people right now, and nobody complains. And I don't even practice my violin right now because I'm waiting for a place I can go to.
I've never had any noise complaints. What I've had is complaints of smelling the cat, you know?
Yeah, we're getting rid of it.
Right.
I was just thinking, next time a landlord asks, I do want my own room, but just tell them that I'm going to use it as like an exercise room.
I'm not even going to tell them that we're using, because I was completely, she's like, what are you going to need the 4 bedrooms for? I said, you know, well, we have some stuff to store, and we have music stuff.
We'll
and
just say a guest room and...
Yeah, I'm not even going to tell people I'm going to store stuff. I'm just going to...
I would just say a guest room and just like lie. Just be like, Amber, just say I'm going to use one as a sewing room. Sewing is quiet.
Yeah, I'm not telling people that we're gonna
Just say you need
do
one as
storage.
an office for your business expenses. Where do you get that down?
Yeah, office, guest room,
Office, guest
bedroom.
room,
So,
and
tell you something Moxie said funny. She says, well, she says, I have no problem with you turning one of the bedrooms into Link's room because she says, my properties, I don't have 2 bathrooms. And she says, I had cats. You do not want to share a bathroom with a cat, is what she said. So, you know.
right, that's what we already planned.
Yeah. So she was like, make sure that he has plenty of things to play with in that room and, you know, just keep his box tidy and we'll have no problems. Like, she says, I had to get rid of my cats because my fiance is allergic. I was like, I didn't know you had cats. She says, I did.
Oh.
And then she told me she made this weird contraption that she bought from Lowe's to make, like, this high-rise, like, litter box thing. I was like, I can't do that. I'm not a do-it-yourself person. That sounds very confusing.
High-rise litter box? It's a litter box that's in the air?
Something like that, and it was like a filing cabinet, and then the litter would come down when you would open the drawer, and it'd make it very easy to clean. And the litter would sit on top, and then you would pull the stuff away, and she had like a strainer.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something she built. I don't know. I was like, I've never heard of anything. And she says, yeah. She said it made cleanup a snap. I was like, I bet, but I mean, weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but when you get that robot thing,
No.
I don't think that robot cat, there's that cat cleaner, that cat litter box thing, that it just keeps going in a circle. I don't think any cat would want to go in there.
No, I think Shadow was terrified of that self-cleaning one we had. It was so loud. No, Link is he's an old soul cat. He prefers just a little box, you know, just a place where he can drink and sit in a window and watch the birds. And the thing is, in upstate New York at this time of year, there's going to be so many variety of birds. Like, all the places that she has, like, has a lot of tree cover.
Honestly, like, you could tell her that one of the rooms would be, like, for mail. Like, for me to write letters and stuff. And, like, cards
No,
to my
I
dad.
just... The one thing she was giving me heads up, though, she says, my stuff... She says, I'm sorry, but my bedrooms are small. So she says, you might have to... I know that you said Amber wanted you to turn one of the bedrooms into, like, where you're going to stream, but she says, I think the only place you'll have to stream is your living room again. She says, I'm sorry about that, but my places are smaller. She says, actually, a lot of places in upstate New York are smaller, unless you go, like, blah, blah, blah. She says, but, she says, they're in nice neighborhoods, so you don't have to worry about, you know. And she says, I live nearby, too, so.
Oh, maybe she'll come by.
I think she's going to end up becoming, like, we'll probably end up becoming friends with her or something. I don't know.
That's fine. I think
Her and her fiance, I don't know. And it's cool that she's a subscriber, too, you know. But
yeah, but it's like, we're not even that loud.
no.
Like, we're not even loud.
But this is what I wanted to tell that one lady is like, you don't understand that you say you have no central air, and she's like, right. I said, I have to put in air conditioner units. I'm just thinking, do you have any idea how loud window units are? They're louder than fans that Amber and I put on in the bathroom upstairs when we stream.
So she's saying that us talking is going to be loud.
No, the only thing you're going to hear coming from our apartment will be the sound of the air conditioner.
Right.
Because it's those things are so loud.
Should have been like, that'll be 10 times louder than anything we're doing.
Because I won't even be able to run the air conditioner when we're streaming. I'll have to turn it off and run it while the music is running. Like, it'll run while the music's running. I'll put on a timer.
Why do they... So they don't see like a married couple as being able to use 4 rooms?
I don't know. I mean, if they have kids, I guess. The last people had kids. And it's 3 rooms. Like, the 4 rooms was the one that said nah.
But you like having space.
I do like having space because I might have a little bit of claustrophobia. I don't know, though.
So you like Storm?
Well, I mean, I only get nervous when people tell me, hey... this place doesn't have a lot of space. It's like, well, what do you mean by that? They're like, well, if you have a queen-size bedroom, or a queen-size bed, you can fit like a little table.
We should look into it, because it's possible we could We could still stream in one of the smaller rooms.
Well, we'll see. I won't know until I actually see it and get there, and then I can determine, yeah, I can fit a couch, I can fit a TV and a desk in here, no problem. But, you know, if one of my concerns would be, if the lady has her bedroom, I don't know where the lady's bedroom is, so probably being in the living room would be ideal for streaming, you know? Because at least she can retreat to her bedroom and there's a little bit more. But if I'm in a bedroom too...
Yeah, it depends on where her bedroom is.
Right.
And then you can, like, one thing I thought, like, if you were in a small room, it'd be easier to put soundproof panels on the walls. Soundproof the whole thing if it's small.
I did soundproof in Boston. I didn't need to, though, but I did. And we never got any complaints. That was... The Boston place was my favorite.
I used to practice my piano and my violin in that loft area.
Yep.
And there was no problem.
Nope. Nope.
I feel like apartments hate musicians because when am I ever supposed to practice my violin if every apartment hates me for being a violinist? Like, if you were, heaven forbid, if we played electric guitar, like, well, I can't even say my... It just seems so unfair with everyone practicing.
I know, but I like I said, I only have a limited time to get us someplace, and then next year we can find a better place. Like, because there'll be more time for us to look and plan.
I don't have time to move. Like, I don't want to move all my stuff again.
Might not have a choice because, like, both of these, like, the remaining places are all small.
I don't mind living in small.
I do. Big kitchen, big living room, small bedrooms that can barely fit beds. That's concern. That's a big concern.
Why?
I don't know. It's just because the house was built in 1930.
Well, we don't even use a king-size bed.
Queen size bed, she says, would have problems. Queen size.
Where do other people stay? They don't sleep in a queen size bed?
Well, I mean, one of her places doesn't have any closets, so she says there's a bed and there's like a little nightstand, and she says that's the only furniture can fit. I'm just thinking, what the heck? How is that possible?
I mean, these are older houses.
Yeah, I know. Yep. She says there's a window to put an air conditioner, and there's, you know.
You're gonna have to take what you can get.
That's why I'm...
You're right. We should put most of the stuff in storage.
That's why I'm saying, like, it's gonna be... We're gonna live there for a year, and while we're living there, we're gonna look for another place.
It could be clean.
It could be clean.
So we don't get a problem.
Because we're gonna continue... Like, she told me she has places opening up next year, so it would be like... you know, we take our security deposit from her, and then we use it with her again. Like, with another one of her properties. And just, like, you know... The moving truck won't cost, like, $1,000, because it's local. Probably be, like, $400 or something. You know?
I don't like talking about my ministry.
Yeah, well, you know... I'm just talking. I'm just talking.
I don't like...
You don't like talking. Whatever. Okay. Joker, can you handle electricity or no? No, of course he can't. Why did I think that was gonna work? No, it doesn't work. Batman doesn't have his electric suit anymore. Well, that's fun. Phooey. Because I need to use the electric suit to bypass that to get over there. Or actually, no, I don't. I just need to fly over.
I'm gonna make some makeshift wrong.
Go for it. Ow. That was rude.
I was thinking about using something for my ramen, but I don't know. Maybe I'll
Right, what do you mean?
I wanted like I didn't really have any lemons, so I wanted something acidic to balance out the sesame oil.
Lemons in your ramen?
I always put lemons in my ramen because I'm supposed to put rice vinegar, but that's too acidic. So I put lemon in it, and it tastes good. I didn't have any lemons, but I did have some leftover pickle juice.
Oh, no. Do not,
maybe
no.
I could pour some of that
No.
in it and might taste kinda
No. Do not put pickles in ramen. That's a horrible idea.
No, you don't think that's gonna taste good?
No, I think that's gonna taste so gross. No.
Like, balance it out a
No,
little bit.
how would it balance? No.
Like, you got the beef broth with the with the sesame oil, that's a little bit too like frothy, and I like to have a little bit of brightness to it, so I add the lemon or rice vinegar.
It's a terrible idea.
But I don't have any rice vinegars, and I don't have any lemon, so there's only one choice. I do have some pickle juice.
Whoa. Yeah, everybody's like, no, Amber, ew, 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 ew.
But pickle juice is made with some vinegar.
It's made with some vinegar, but it has a completely different taste. You're gonna ruin your ramen if you put that in.
I don't know. It has vinegar in it.
Whoa.
And pickle.
Oh, no, 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 no,
You
no,
don't
no,
think?
no, 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 no,
No, it tastes good.
no, no, I don't. I think you're setting yourself up for like.
Somebody wrote. Who is that who wrote pickle ramen? Maybe I'm
Chad.
gonna
Maybe it's a Philippines thing.
No, I think he's just trying to like get me to try it.
I don't mind pickles on sandwiches, but pickles and ramen, that's going a bit.
No, it's just the juice of it.
How much of the juice? Like a
I don't
teaspoon?
I think I did see a lemon in the fridge.
I don't. Well, I mean,
I think I'm gonna use the lemon that I found.
How old is the lemon?
Well, as long as it's not hard as a rock, it should be still good.
What if it's blue?
It's not blue, it's yellow.
Okay.
Never mind. I had an awkward day at my job.
I had an awkward day too.
You know, my friend who's like an assistant manager, she got yelled at by one of the employees.
Honey, you're being too mousy. I can't hear you.
My friend who's an assistant manager, she got yelled at by one of the employees.
Yeah, see how you're not registering? Like, when I talk, see there's yellow. When you talk, there's green.
And then, like, everybody, like, I don't know why, but, like, then after everyone was kind of gone, she was, like, doing the sandwich stuff in the back of the restaurant, and I was like, are you okay? And then she's sitting there, she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I was like, you're pretty cool then, because I said, I don't think I would be okay if somebody, like, I don't know why people have to get upset. Like, why can't they just work things out normally? Whatever.
Work things out normally.
Like, why? Like, nothing. I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
I've never heard of that. Like, I would assume if you yell at your assistant manager or boss at work, I would assume that you would be fired.
You would think so.
But that didn't happen. Like, this is... Like, I don't know. I don't know how anyone can get away with that.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, come with me.
I guess Pennsylvania is different than other places in the world. You can get away with yelling at your boss.
I don't know.
Guess it depends where you work.
Maybe. It could be a thing.
I don't even... Well, I guess maybe I'll have to, like, get to a church where I can practice my violin. And ask them if I can stay later and tell them that I can't practice my violin at my apartment because they don't like violins. Because they're violinists. What?
Sorry. That was weird. It's kind of funny.
So I have my friend, my other friend from work. I've got her number. She was talking to me when my car was getting towed. And she's the one who has a little Pomeranian dog. And I told her I'd let her know if my husband lets me get a little dog. She's like, yeah, let me know.
Yeah, Moxie's place will allow dogs. One cat, one dog is the limit.
A little dog will be easier to take care of.
I know.
Also, I won't fear that the dog will kill me in my sleep. That's basically my number one fear.
Weird
I
fear.
don't... I used to think that my dog Cody was gonna kill me in my sleep.
I mean, Cody was a big dog.
I fall asleep as a little girl. I used to fall asleep next to Cody. He'd fall asleep on the floor. I'd fall asleep on the couch, and we'd be just like falling asleep, watching a movie together, me and my dog. And then when I got up, I'd look over at him, and his eye would look at me, and I'd think like, he's gonna kill me. Like, I don't know why I thought he was gonna kill me. I don't know why.
Xenon, Mercury,
Big.
We have to mute this.
Oh,
good thing I muted that. I don't know why they're showing this cutscene on free play though. Weird. We're not doing free roam yet. Free play first. Well, that was weird.
do you want the rest of this pickle juice?
No, I don't want pickle juice. Why are you craving pickle juice? Okay. Alright, honey. Oops. And yeah, everything's back. Like, people can hear the sounds and stuff again. So guys, this episode will just cover, the Ace Chemicals thing, which is a pretty long level. And then I'll get the Pokemon stream started right away. Which I have no idea what to expect from the Pokemon thing, but it should be interesting. Yeah, the Pokemon game's probably not going to be all that good anyway. Yeah. I don't know. No way of knowing. No, I don't think so. I think more people would have watched a second Lego Batman stream. We're already almost at 1,000 views for this stream, so. Because it's a new release. I mean, it's how people find your channel as a catalog of new releases and previews. That's how it works. Did I see your Marvel Rivals thumbnail you made? No. Sorry. I didn't even know you were streaming. Like, you came home, which, it is true. Like, I love Ambi a lot. Amber came home and told me about her day. I was struggling to get to sleep, like, so long after my call at 8 in the morning. I was up, I was depressed, I was watching anime, whatever. Amber came home and immediately started talking about her day. I passed out. Like, she spoke for, like, I don't know, she was talking about some stuff in her sweet little voice. Very calming. And within, like, 4 or 5 minutes of her talking to me, I blacked out. I don't remember anything. And when I next woke up, I heard her voice downstairs. It's like 6 at night. And I'm like, wow, she's able to get me to sleep. I can't even get myself to sleep. I close my eyes, I count sheep. I have a fan on. I have everything that is needed to help sleep. My insomnia is so bad, the only way I can get to sleep is if my wife talks to me. Amber should do ASMR.
Fine, let me tell you, like, they doing ASMR videos, like, hey, like, I'm a nurse, and I'm helping you feel better at the clinic, or like, hey, I'm a barber, I'm cutting your hair. I should be like, hey, I'm a wife, and I'm telling you my husband about my day. That should be my ASMR video, like, hi, honey, like, I'm home.
Oh, wow.
You know, like, I just wanted to tell you, I just got back from work and hope you're feeling okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah.
That's how I talk to you when I get home from work, though. It's like I should do videos like that. It actually wouldn't be like, it'd be kind of wholesome, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were kind of putting me to, kind of lulling me there.
Like today, I went to
No, don't talk like that.
the park and I saw this leaf that looked different than the other leaves.
Okay.
That's the kind of stuff I talked to Luke about, though. I'm like, this is one leaf, and it was different. It was like reddish color, but not so much reddish that it's like brown red, but more yellowish red. Oh my gosh, Luke, I should try that. I should do gamer wife ASMR. And then you could play those videos when you can't sleep.
Which I can't sleep a lot, so it works out.
I'll make like a whole playlist.
Well, there's something about having you in the room with me that, like, your calm aura, just like I suck up like a vampire or something like that. like a vibe vampire or something. I don't know. But I couldn't get to sleep at all until you came home. Until you talked to me, I couldn't sleep. I was up all night. No, I'm serious. I was up all night.
I actually was talking to you and asking you some questions. Like, after I talked to you for a little bit, I said, I was like, so what are the streams today? And you were just out. And I was like, okay. And I just, and I went downstairs.
I was out. I needed my calm wifey home because I've just been so... I used to be able to get to sleep on my own, though. I can't... I just can't sleep. I have so much stress that you're just like... I don't know, you're like a calming thing. I don't know. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt, yeah. Only Amber can comfort me? That's true. She's in my subconscious. She's a very important person to me. Most important person. So I was talking to I'll tell you how weird I was getting today. I was yelling at a rom-com I was watching because the rom-com, who is my favorite Pokemon character? Pikachu. Amber's is Emolga. Thank you for the super chat. And Amber likes Piplup too. Mine will always be Pikachu because Pikachu reminds me of a cat and I love cats. Does that make sense? I know he's a penguin. Oh. Anyway, I'll tell you guys about anime I watched. So, I was so annoyed today after the, not getting the apartment. And I was watching a rom-com that I've been watching to help me calm down. It's called From Me to You, I believe. And it is the slowest burn anime ever. That the couple, they were so infuriating for 2 seasons. Actually, no, for the first season, they're very cute. They're like, oh, they're slowly getting to know each other, and they're leading up to asking each other out. Then they started the second season, where they both really like each other, right? But they're both so stupid that they misunderstand what the other's trying to say. Like, when the boy confesses and says, I like you, to her, she interprets that as like, oh, he likes me as a friend. Because he didn't say, I love you, will you go out with me? So because he didn't say the words exactly right, she started to cry because she felt like he was rejecting her. And then he got upset because her crying was a symbol that she was rejecting him when that was not the case. So then they dragged on that drama for like 5 episodes with them both being so dense and stupid that I'm literally here yelling at my phone watching it like, she does care for you, you idiot, or, you know, he does love you, you dense fool. You know, I'm yelling at the, well, not yelling, but I'm talking to my phone. Because, you know, I'm all alone, Amber's not home, and Link is looking at me like a completely nuts, but I looked at him and I was like, you would be upset too if you were watching both these idiots who actually care about each other taking so long to actually, you know, confess correctly. Because, I mean, this is dragging on more than Rent-A-Girlfriend. And Rent-A-Girlfriend is a super slow burn. Yeah, it is. That's the term. That's what they call it. It's a slow burn if, like, it takes forever for a couple to get together. It's an anime term. Yeah. So it's an anime term. Wait, what was that? Huh? Huh. Oh, I guess that didn't do anything. Alright, Penguin. Here we go. Anyway, so, I mean, that's an older rom-com. I watched that in English because it helps with, because I've been super anxious lately. So hearing things in my own language helps me be a lot calmer, usually. So I've been watching a lot of anime that I originally watched in Japanese, I watch in English now. But I've been watching a couple new animes that I really, really like. And those new animes that I really like... Amber, are you doing stuff with that pickles? Why can I smell that you're doing something with those pickles? I don't know, it's just... I think you're really gonna regret putting pickles in your ramen. Okay. Well, you do have an iron stomach, so you probably won't get nauseous. But anyway, the 3 anime that I really like this season are... I became friends with the second prettiest girl in school, in my class. It's a cute little rom-com that just started. I like it. I give it, so far, a 9 out of 10. Like, it really wowed me. The first episode, like, caught my attention right away. It's like, I am in. I'm gonna watch every episode of this. I can't wait for it. I'm looking forward to the next episode this weekend, right? The next anime is a season 2 of The Angel Next Door that spoils me rotten. They're officially a couple, and they're just so wholesome and sweet to watch. Like that, it fills my soul with, like, you know, wholesomeness, and it makes me happy watching those two, like, actually finally act like a couple, because you know how it went. It took forever. It took 12 episodes for them to actually become official, but it was like, it was nice. It was not annoying. So to see them happy and together, I like that. And then the other anime that I like, that's brand new, is the anime called Teenage New Game Plus, which is about a guy who was middle-aged, maybe, or in his late 20s, who is sitting on his porch, like, reminiscing about, like, how much he could have improved his high school life if he hadn't messed up, like, his younger days, and he wouldn't be sad and lonely. And he falls off his porch, and he ends up being reincarnated as himself, you know, 10 years ago. And he gets to start his whole high school life over again. He gets in shape. He was a pudgy guy, so he loses all the weight within 2 months on summer vacation. Like, just running and doing strength training and whatever. Like, he really dedicates himself to that so that he can have a high school transformation. And the girl that he confessed to actually shows an interest in him because... He's very calm now. He's not acting like a goofball, and his life is already improving. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how that anime goes. And then the one honorable mention that I like is a show called Always a Catch, which is about this girl who's desperately trying to find a husband because she's a noblewoman, but she's a noblewoman that was an heir to a martial arts family. So she's like a kick-butt female who's not very feminine. She was raised to be like the heir of this martial arts family. And so she's like, you know, very, very like, you know, that. She doesn't have like a lot of female charm. She's a pretty looking girl, but she acts like a tomboy. And the second episode, because the first episode it took a little while to kind of like, it was like, am I going to keep watching this? The second episode is what hooked me. Because the second episode, she runs into this situation where she gets attacked by this kingdom that is the opposite of the prince that she called off, like she told off in the first episode. And the prince happens to see her easily dispatch like all the bad guys coming after her, because she's like a martial arts magic person, right? And then he sees this and he's completely enamored with her. So his personality completely changes from this cold prince who wants nothing to do with women and just, you know, wants to run his country. And now he's completely like head over heels for this martial arts chick. And like she's never had a chance to act like a girl. And even though, you know, she's happy that he came to her rescue, she basically saved herself, right? But their dynamic and their relationship is so cute that it's like, I'm on board for episode 2 or episode 3 next week. And new episodes of that release like every Wednesday, I think. Something like that. So, like, I have a lot of things that I'm interested in right now. Anime, it just, like, it makes me feel nice. It's a hobby that I really enjoy. And then I'm watching a lot of older anime, like, right now. Like I said, from, like, a couple ones. Like, one Amber and I are watching that I gave up on years ago. It was called The Romantic Killer. And Amber really likes the premise of the creature that follows the main heroine around. Like, the little, like, god creature or whatever, and it's really funny.
Oh, yeah, I do like that a
Yeah.
lot.
So we've been watching that off and on Netflix.
Reminds me of Sergeant Frog.
It does have Sergeant Frog vibes to it a little bit, but it's a rom-com, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do like that. I do like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. So we've been watching that. And every once in a while, we watch another one. I don't remember what the other one is.
That one about camping?
The one about camping, yeah. Solo camping for 2 or whatever. It's kind of cute. It's a very slow-paced rom-com, though. Like, after 12 episodes, they weren't even officially a couple yet, but she likes him. So there's like 24 episodes of that. So that means it's going to take 24 episodes for them to actually commit to each other. Like, to admit that, hey, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to confess to you, and then the other guy's going to confess, and then they'll start dating, and the show's over. So, it's all about the tension of them getting together.
I just don't understand how the solo camping for 2. If he already had a girlfriend before, like, why didn't it work out with the other girl?
Because he never shared his hobby with her.
But how is that the other girl's fault?
It's not the other girl's fault. What is that? Ah! That's what I was supposed to do.
But shouldn't he just get back together with his other girlfriend and then...
He has someone else that he's interested in now. Too much time has passed. Also, she's going back to America anyway. She was just there visiting Japan.
She was visiting to see if he ever changed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he did.
He did change because he's, that girl broke down his barriers. The girl that he was camping with. She...
Oh, maybe it's because she was doing it already.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the other girl was breaking down his barriers. Little by little. There's a little bit of an age difference between them. He's like in his early 40s and she's like her late 20s or something like that. Which is not really a big deal, but... The only problem that I have with people of a certain age getting together is there's a time difference. That means that you have different interests and different shows that you watched and different culture, and, you know, sometimes that can make things kind of hard. Unless you have, like, a similar thing that you like sports or something that both of you can appreciate at the same time, because he grew up in high school with different songs than that person grew up with, or TV shows, and it's always good to marry within your age, like at least like five years within your age, because like there won't be that kind of like, oh, we don't really have anything in common because we came from 2 different time periods.
Yeah, it's like you're from 2 different places.
Kind of, yeah.
From 2 different realms.
That's the only problem I have with like older people getting together with younger people, is the younger people come from a completely different culture than
Well, I feel like for me, like, I know it seems weird, but like, we're married, but you're also my best friend. But like, if you were way older than me, you couldn't be my best friend and be married, because I wouldn't be able to be best friends with somebody way older than me.
Well, I always wanted more anyway. I didn't just want to be like, I never dated you with the intent of like, oh, we're just, you were a wife prospect, marriage prospect, even after the first date. Speaking of that, go eat your gross pickle ramen. The smell is kind of gross. Like, it's making me nauseous, even though I'm not eating it.
I put lemon in it. I didn't put pickle juice.
Why am I smelling pickles then?
Because I drank all the pickle juice.
Whoa!
What? I wanted it. I was craving
You drank the pickle juice?
I drank the whole thing.
Oh my gosh! That's what I'm smelling?
Got it all over my hand.
Ah! Why? What? How is pickle juice good? You drank the whole jar? The whole jar? Why? You were thirsty. Make lemonade. Well, right, because, I mean, putting your ramen ruins the ramen, but, I mean... Really? Oh my gosh. That's what I'm smelling, though. That smell is making me nauseous. I'm literally drinking ginger ale. Okay. So anyway, Amber and I are completely different, but, like... Well, actually, no, we do have that kind of, like... Sometimes it felt like I married a woman from, like, the 1960s, because Amber's interests are very old school. Like, she was raised in a very strict environment where she grew up watching, normally, movies from, like, the 60s and the 50s and listening to music from the 60s. I grew up with, like, 80s and 90s culture. And when we got engaged and we dated and stuff, I introduced her to the, you know, a lot of pop culture from the 1980s, because I really liked the stuff from the 1980s. And part of the fun with Amber was, like, teaching her about my culture. Video games, anime, movies, and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say I've converted her, but, like, she's more open to, like, watching, like, some anime, and like, she likes a lot of the 80s cartoons that I introduced her to over the past, like, 20 years. And she'll, sometimes I'll catch her, like, humming a song from, like, an 80s cartoon, and it makes me happy. But I've, like, pretty much all the obscure cartoons that I grew up with in the 80s, Amber has seen, because we have them on DVD. We would snuggle and watch them, and I'd introduce her to my culture, which was 80s culture. But when we were dating, it did feel like that I was kind of going out with a much older woman, because not only was Amber incredibly mature, but, you know, it was like an outside of time thing. That we had very few things that outside of what really made things spark for us is she knew about Batman the Animated Series. And that was our leaping off point, wasn't just like faith, like religion, but it was also like she really liked the episodes of Batman the Animated Series that she saw, and since I was such a big Batman nerd, you know, that was my opening. It was like, aha! Now we have something of common interest. And we would talk about episodes of Batman the Animated Series and all kinds of stuff. Like, that was you know, our in, basically. Yep, and we got to tell Kevin Conroy that and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, Batman the Animated Series literally brought us together. Like, the fusion of two different worlds. So, I'm very, very thankful to Batman the Animated Series, because without it, Amber and I had, like, this huge, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Barrier. We had a barrier between us that, it was very easy to take that barrier down when we had more common interest, and that common interest was Batman the Animated Series. And then through Batman the Animated Series, I introduced her to Power Rangers, Thundercats, Voltron, Robotech, Cops, the cartoon show, the Galaxy Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe, all that stuff. And she really liked the Justice League cartoon and the X-Men the Animated Series from 1992. So, like, all because of Batman the Animated Series, it was a branching point that led to so many other things. So I will always be thankful to Batman the Animated Series, because it was a thing where Amber and I could you know, kind of build up a mutual thing, because she isn't an 80s kid. It's just she was trapped in a different time zone, or time point in time, which wasn't her fault. So I don't even know why clicking that was a thing. All right, out of your hamster wheel, Robin. Let's go. I know you still like 60s girl groups and stuff like that, but I'm just saying, like, it gave us, like, more in common. I want to have stuff in common with you because I like you. Is that okay? Okay. Well, that's fair. Pangy, drop the bomb. Oh. Well, what did that do? That did absolutely nothing. Okay. Wait, what is that? Hang on, now I'm gonna be Superman. Yeah, Ace Chemicals is such a big level. Ace Chemicals, I think, is one of the biggest levels. And then Arkham is a pretty big one. All the other levels are pretty tiny in comparison. Does your ramen taste better this time compared to last time? Or is it still... You put the ramen packet in last time or this time? Ah. Okay, so it sounds like you're happier this time. But it's better than last time. Okay. No worries. You can fix it. Wait, what was the super chat? The super chat was what? Ooh! Do I have any recommendations for a first anime watch for you? What do you like? Are you... And thank you for the super chat. What is your... Do you like fantasy? Do you like action? Do you like adventure? Do you like romance? Do you like comedy? You like thrillers. The only anime that I can help you with is fantasy, rom-coms, mysteries, slice of life, ishikais, and some mainstream. I don't watch a lot of main. I enjoy a lot of what's known as seasonal anime, things that are like 12 episodes, might never get a second season. Some of it gets resolved after 12 episodes and they never have another show. If you like gaming and you like comedy, I would recommend MMO Junkie. It's a rom-com that's 10 episodes. So it's not a full 12-episode series, but it's resolved at the end of 10 episodes. So you don't have to be like, will they, won't they, like type of stuff. Like the story is over after 10 episodes. And also it's about 2 adults. So if you're, an adult, then obviously you can relate to two adults and as opposed to teenagers. Another great one, since obviously you like gaming, there's a rom-com called Gamers, which is one of the funniest animes that I've seen since School Rumble or Sergeant Frog. And it's about a boy who is an introverted gamer and a girl who is a very, social butterfly who started a gaming club in high school. And they have a chance meeting, and they get to know each other, and they become a couple. But that's not the spoiler of the show. The show, what makes it so funny, is everything that happens to that poor couple and their friends is a giant misunderstanding that's blown out of proportions, and that's where the comedy comes from. So while they get together, the misunderstandings and all the problems that arise, like with them, is the funniest thing you'll ever see. It is a 12-episode anime, and it's resolved after 12 episodes. There was never another season. I rewatch it a couple times a year. It's really funny. You can find it on Crunchyroll and Amazon, and it's amazing. You can watch it in both English or Japanese. It's really, really funny. If you want to tag along with a new anime that's about gaming, then you want the anime called I made friends with the second prettiest girl in school. It's about 2 gamers or game otakus that don't tell their friends that they're gamers, and they develop a relationship due to this mutual hobby. And she's like a super outgoing girl. He's a very shy and keeps to himself. It's a brand new show that just started, so they'll have new episodes released every Friday. So that means if you jump on board with that now on Crunchyroll, the second episode will come out on Friday sometime. So that's that. If you like ishikais, where the character dies and they're transported to another world, there's a whole list of those that I could go into. But I also like the fantasy animes about, the villainess. Which is an anime where a woman is reincarnated and brought to another world, and she plays the role of a villain from a dating sim game and has to change her fate. It's a trope that's been around now for about, I'd say 6 years or so. And it's really funny. And how they work with it in anime is they keep changing the way the villainess works. They keep changing how it goes. And they release maybe 1 or 2 animes a year with that thing. There was a couple more this year, and there was a couple more last year, but it's a funny thing. And usually the villainess changes her fate and ends up with Prince Charming or somebody else. And then there's a rom-com that I love that's a fantasy action show, and it's called Trapped in a Dating Sim. The second season will be coming out this summer. So you could jump on board with the 20 episodes right now. And it has mech combat in it. It's got gaming references. And the whole point of the show is the guy is trapped in a dating sim. He died. His sister was obsessed with dating sim games and asked him to go through the game, find the best route to unlock the romance route that she wanted. He accidentally falls down a flight of stairs after gaming for 48 hours straight, dies, and is reincarnated in a world where women are the ones that rule the world. Men, the only way that men can survive in this world is by marrying a woman of high stature. So it's kind of like role reversal of like medieval times where women would marry a king in order to have like a cushy life. Men have to marry a beautiful noble woman in order to have a better life, or they have to get a job as a butler or whatever. So he is a character that's obsessed with just being in the background and just wants to find some, you know, minuscule woman to marry so that he can just enjoy his life as a kept man. You know? Now, it's really funny because, like, he ends up becoming, like, this OP character when that's not his aim. He knows how to play the game, so he knows what he needs to do in order to succeed. But it was never his intention to do that. That's the funny thing. He never, ever, ever planned on standing out or anything. He was going to be a mob character. The show is in English. You can watch it on Crunchyroll and Amazon, and it's called Trapped in a Dating Sim. And it is super funny. I highly encourage anyone to watch it because it's one of my favorite newer animes. The first season came out during the pandemic, I think like 2022. And if you're a gamer and like you know, it's got RPG, fantasy elements, dating sim elements. It's got a little bit of fan service, but not too much. I would say it's tasteful. And the whole like idea of the show is it's reverse psychology. So women are the hierarchy of society, and men are the bottom of the totem pole. And, you know, all the antics that happen in that show is absolutely hilarious. And it's a strong recommendation from me. Like, super strong. School Rumble I would love to recommend to people, but it's so old that a lot of the jokes wouldn't make sense to your generation. The reason why School Rumble is one of the best animes of all time is because if you were born between like the 1980s and the 1990s, it is chock full of so many references for Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Yu Yu Hakusho, Kenshiro, Fist of the North Star. Like, it makes fun of dating anime, it makes fun of high school anime, slice of life, video games, 90s and 80s pop culture movies. It is like the perfect accumulation of everything like 1980s and 90s that kids would have grown up with, and it's super funny because it's also a serious plot at the same time because it is a high school romance anime, but it has so much parody elements in it that makes it amazing. Another dated anime that's really good that has like 20 or 30 episodes is My Bride is a Mermaid. Super funny. A guy ends up being saved by a mermaid woman, and he professes her love to her. Unbeknownst to him, she is actually the daughter of a Yakuza family. So all kinds of hijinks ensue where he ends up getting married into the Yakuza. And the Yakuza have the ability to transform into mermaids. And the thing is, if you see a mermaid Yakuza, you have to die. So the only way you can survive is if you become Yakuza yourself. It was only one season, but it was super funny. And then, of course, the Kenichi, the Strongest Disciple, is an action rom-com anime about martial arts, and it's real martial arts. If you watch that show, you'll actually learn real martial arts moves and stuff like that. Like the things that I learned in martial arts in the 90s, that's the type of stuff they do in the show. To some extent, like a difference with karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, things like that. And it's got a fun story to it. It also, the anime is going to continue in like 4 years because they brought the manga back recently because the guy who wrote the manga came out of retirement or something and he wants to continue writing that. So that eventually be turned into an anime, which is cool. You'll have to wait for that one, but you could always jump on board and learn that. I've been watching anime for 30 years, so, you know. Actually longer than that. That anime is not available anymore. Another favorite anime of mine is called Wagnaria, which is a show about working at a family restaurant, a Western family restaurant in Japan. It went on for 3 seasons. It's gut-busting funny, but you can't find it in America anymore because no streaming platform has it. They got rid of it, unfortunately, which is a shame, but that's what they did. Yeah, that show was so well done. It was so funny. But yeah, that show's no longer around anymore, it's a dire shame because it was so... I don't use the word peak very much, but it was peak. We do have it on DVD, but we have international DVD. So it can't be... It might be able to be played on our PlayStation. I don't know. What is that? Oh, that's what that was. Okay. That's cool. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with things like, if you want Supernatural, Yu Yu Hakusho, if you want action and drama, Cowboy Bebop, again, older anime. If you like action and adventure, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. What else? Yeah, if you like giant robots, Gundam Wing. Like, if you... Like, I can't stress enough that your first Gundam show in modern times, you have to watch Gundam Wing. Like, Gundam Wing is my favorite Gundam series of all time. It's got great storytelling, good drama, good action. And the characters are all really likable and unique and stuff like that. And it's not as complex as some of the other Gundam shows later on. It also has beautiful music, and it was made in 1996, so it still would look really good to watch. I would stay away from the 70s Gundam stuff because it's super confusing and it has so many branching parts and continuity and things like that. That Gundam Wing for me is my recommendation for somebody new to mech anime and you want to find something that, you know, is really going to resonate with you. Especially if you like stuff with rich storytelling, like the original Star Wars stuff or like Star Trek and stuff like that. It's kind of like Gundam Wing is kind of like Japan's Star Wars. It was really good. I would say that Gundam Wing is a better story than Star Wars. Yeah. Gundam Wing is an amazing sci-fi fantasy thing. I did like Fairy Tail, but Fairy Tail goes on for too long. I don't want to scare people with like super long anime that have like thousands of episodes, so I'm not mentioning One Piece, Fairy Tail. You know, Dragon Ball is like the exception to the rule because Dragon Ball Z is fun no matter where you start, but you know, it's an episodic series, so you will be a little confused if you're starting with Dragon Ball. But I think that you could actually watch Dragon Ball Super and get a pretty good understanding of the characters and stuff like that, because they always mention what they did in Dragon Ball Z anyway. It's just you don't see it, like, happen. They just kind of reference it. But Dragon Ball Super was really good. I really liked Dragon Ball Super. Sword Art Online, yes, I love Sword Art Online. But Sword Art Online is not good for people who are new to anime. Sword Art Online is for otaku that love anime and are just like so knee-deep into it that like SAO is a very complex drama, romance, like thriller, action anime that is coming back. Like there'll be a new season in like 4 years. And there's a new movie coming out soon, but it's got a lot of seasons, and then the movies like have some continuity issues. But I love SAO so much. SAO is amazing. I rewatch SAO season 1 a lot. Sometimes it even brings me to tears because the music, like the theme of SAO when they're fighting monsters and stuff, and the romance theme, it just really, I don't know, it tugs on my heartstrings sometimes. And also, some of the fights, the choreography of the show gives me goosebumps sometimes because of how cool the fights are. Yeah, so SAO is definitely in my top 10. But I really like rom-coms, so like I gravitate more towards rom-coms than anything else. I do watch action shows every once in a while, but even the new show, Always a Catch, it's mostly a rom-com with action elements. Like, even though the princess is a martial artist, she is still trying to find a husband. That's her mission in life. Her brother, who was born 4 years ago, is now the heir to the family, you know, everything. And she spent her entire life, from the time she was like a baby until she was like 20 years old, to be the heir of this martial arts family, without, you know, getting married. And now, because they have a son, it's her responsibility to get married, because that's what women do in medieval times, is they had to get married. So even though she's like, she knows everything about, her father passed down everything to her because, you know, he didn't have a son for like 16 years. Once she was like a certain age, like 20 years old, he told her, hey, you need to go get married now. And she's like, I can really do that now? I'm free to do what I want? And he says, yep, you're no longer the heir. And she was very happy about it, because she was like, I want to have kids, and I want to be, you know, I want to be a regular girl. I've always been a tomboy and stuff. So it's a sweet anime. It's a lot of fun. It comes out on Wednesdays. It just started. I really like it. But it's you know, it's an anime for romance stuff, so probably a girly anime. I don't know. Korean dramas is there's a totally different beast than anime. Korean drama and anime are completely separate. I like both, but I really, really like anime. And this year, I'm eating really good when it comes to rom-coms. There's so many rom-coms this year compared to last year. I don't even know how I'm going to watch them all. There's like 15 new rom-coms between Netflix, Amazon, Crunchyroll, and High Dive. Although technically Amazon and High Dive are the same thing anyway. But so you ruined it with the packet of spices. I'm sorry. But I literally can talk about like anime like all the time. I really, really like it. I used to be able to watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z, but it is long. Well, that's what it was like. If you want a streamlined experience of Dragon Ball Z, then you would watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. If you want the more like, I want to see filler and to get to know these characters and, you know, pace myself with the show, you want the original Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z Kai is basically, okay, this is the manga, and here it's a shorter, much shorter. So instead of like 700 episodes, you have like 200. It's a huge difference. Like, there's no like, oh, we used to joke about, here's what jokes used to be like in the 90s. It's time for Dragon Ball Z. Last time, Vegeta and Goku stared at each other intently, talking about fighting. There was a tumbleweed that blew in front of them, and they almost fought, but they didn't. Elsewhere, Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin are doing some antics on Namek. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta are still staring and yelling at each other. Will today be the day that they fight? Find out on today's exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. So, I mean, that's pretty much what the original Dragon Ball was, is there was a lot of sitting around, talking, and you know, are they going to fight? Are they ever going to get to the fight? And then when they get to the fight lasts for 5 episodes. And then they break and they're like, Frieza, you're really good at this, but I'm having a blast fighting you. I just want you to know that. And then Vegeta would be like, Kakarot, you fool, why are you talking to Frieza? Quickly, finish him. I'm having a lot of fun, Vegeta. You know, things like that. It took forever for them to actually get to the point. Whereas Dragon Ball Z Kai, it cuts out all the middle fluff and stuff that didn't happen in the 90s, and it just, like, the fights last for, like, 1 episode, and then the next part of the thing goes on. It's more of a continuous, like, boom, 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 boom. Whereas, literally, they dragged out episode by episode by episode. That's my drink. Oh, that's my ginger ale. where literally they dragged it out forever. And then, like, 90s kids, we used to make fun of that because it's like... And even Yu Yu Hakusho kind of did that. It's like, hey, we gotta, you know, do this and in the spirit world and stuff. Yeah, we gotta go to the spirit world and do this stuff. And then they're in the spirit world. They're like, oh, man, we're lost in the spirit world. What are we gonna do? Because the reason why they did that is, you know, animation was all hand-drawn. And they reuse stuff, like, all the time. So, they couldn't, like, resolve things very quickly. They had to drag things out. And I would argue there was more character depth and stuff in the 90s anime. But there was so much filler for things like Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, Sailor Moon, Ronin Warriors, all that stuff. Like, because they really dragged it out, like, tremendously. It's just what they did. It was, you know, it was just expected. I don't even need to do that. I can just fly up there. Man bat. One more thing, sir. Why is it not breaking? Weird. What the heck is that? I don't even know what that is about. Oh my gosh, there's a guy stuck there in the fire. Oh! That's kind of dark. Wow, there was a guy stuck there. Yeah, I'm excited that Dragon Ball Super is coming back, though. I really liked Dragon Ball Super. I just want to see... My favorite character is Gohan, really. I love Vegeta, but Gohan has always been, like... He was supposed to be the dude that was supposed to replace Goku. That's what Toriyama originally planned. And then it all became about Goku again. So I want to see, you know, more stuff happen with Gohan, because I was so excited by the Dragon Ball superhero movie that I took Amber to see with, like, Gohan and stuff like that. And we got to see, you know, a little bit of the Great Saiyaman, but not really. It was a great Gohan movie. And we got the new Beast Gohan transformation and stuff like that. Because I love the dynamic between Videl and Gohan. It's much more wholesome than Chi-Chi and Goku, who all they do is, like, fight all the time. Like, Goku's always in trouble. Like, Gohan is a good husband to Gohan is a good husband to Videl, and Videl is a sweet wife to Gohan. Like, Videl acted like Chi-Chi when she was in high school, which, you know, adolescence, that's fine. Videl matured so much as like a married woman that she's like, my favorite couple in Dragon Ball is always Gohan and Videl, because they're the most, like, normal of all the Dragon Ball couples. Like, Vegeta and Bulma are always at each other's throats. Chi-Chi is always mad at Goku. Goku is always trying to shirk his responsibilities. Gohan and Videl are, like, the most normal, like, you know, relationship in the Dragon Ball universe. And then I would say the other really great power couple would be Android 18 and Krillin. Like, Android 18 and Krillin would also be, like, married couple goals. Like, they're really good together. So. But that's just my 2 cents. Where's the electricity suit? Oh, it's all the way down there, okay. Yoink. The thing is with Chi-Chi and Goku, though, you have to go back and watch, like, the last 40 episodes of Dragon Ball where they're engaged to really get an understanding of their relationship, because they don't really do a lot to showcase a lot of Chi-Chi and Goku, because Chi-Chi was from the Dragon Ball show. So the people who grew up with Dragon Ball, they moved into Dragon Ball Z, and they're like, oh, it's Goku and Chi-Chi. I remember them, you know? But for people who grew up with Dragon Ball Z, then Gohan and Videl or Krillin and Android 18, they were your couple, you know, that people would relate to, because it always looked like Chi-Chi was always mad at Goku. Because he did put her through a lot. You know, let's not say he didn't. Chi-Chi used to be a wealthy woman, and Goku basically, like, got rid of all her wealth because she had to pay damages for all the things that Goku did over the years. So, like, they actually had a substantial fortune, which people didn't know this, but Chi-Chi was super rich. The Ox King was loaded. And because of all of Goku's fault, the Ox King and Chi-Chi lost all their money. That's why Chi-Chi is always yelling at Goku to get a job and stuff. But you wouldn't know that unless you watched the original Dragon Ball. You'd have no idea. You're like, why is Chi-Chi being such a pain to Goku? It's like, he really messed up her life. And she's telling him that he has to get a job and he has to do all this stuff. When he's like, oh, Chi-Chi, I just want to fight and stuff, and I'm going to go train. It's like, he's a selfish brat who, he has good intentions, but he cost her family everything because of his antics, which, haha, very funny and stuff like that. But if you watch the original Dragon Ball, like the last season, you can see that Goku, before they got married, was responsible for basically bleeding Chi-Chi dry. And Chi-Chi didn't care at the time because she's like, oh, we're going to have a baby and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. But, like, as time goes on and Goku doesn't change and try to mature, and he's still that same kind of rambunctious, you know, person that everybody loves for Goku, it wears on Chi-Chi to the point where she loves him a lot, but Goku's kind of a deadbeat. You know, that's the nicest way of saying it, is Vegeta at least tries to, you know, be a good father and all this other stuff, and he's a deadbeat too because he lives off his wife, because his wife he's basically a kept man. And he likes being a kept man. He likes being a pampered prince. But Gohan's not like that. Gohan witnessed his dad being a deadbeat, and so Gohan is the opposite. Even though his wife is rich, like super rich, he still gets a job as a college professor. Like, he wants to earn his own way and not sponge off of his father-in-law, who Hercule is, like, you know, super wealthy. And so is his wife, but he wants to earn his own way in life. That's the exact opposite of his father. His father has to be pushed and pulled by everybody around him just to do, like, a decent thing. And it's true. That's, you know, I'm not making that stuff up. That's why people on the internet, they joke, like, Piccolo would be best, is Gohan's dad, is because Piccolo, even though he was evil, he's a very responsible adult. He cares for Gohan a lot. He takes care of him. And, you know, Gohan, his dad was dead for half of Gohan's life. So the father figure that Gohan had was Piccolo. That's why I like Piccolo a lot, too, is because I've always seen Piccolo as, like, Gohan's dad. Pretty much. Like, I'm one of the few Dragon Ball Z fans that's not a huge Goku fan. It's not that I hate Goku. I just don't like him very much. I think he's kind of like a, you know, he's very immature. When push comes to shove, yeah, he'll save the universe or whatever, but he's really bad at family management. He's really bad at maintaining a job. He drops all his responsibilities when he can go off and train somewhere. Like, he does get a job and becomes a farmer and stuff, but as soon as there's an opportunity for him to go somewhere, he drops all of his responsibilities and, you know, taking care of his family, and he jettisons off to another planet. That's what Goku does. Vegeta doesn't have a job. Vegeta can basically do whatever he wants because his wife allows it. Chi-Chi, Goku's wife, does not allow him to do whatever he wants because she expects him to be a responsible adult. So it's a completely different dynamic between Bulma and Vegeta and Goku and Chi-Chi. Because Chi-Chi actually wants her husband to amount to something, you know, other than him just, like, being a fighter. And Gohan, you know, he grew up with this, like, very weird environment, and he doesn't want to be like his dad. He loves his dad and everything, but he doesn't want to go through the same stuff that his dad goes through. You know, he actually wants to contribute, and he doesn't want to be a burden on his family. He also wants his family to be proud of him and not to sponge off people. Which I think is a very admirable quality, and it's one of the reasons why I've always really liked Gohan. It's not just his goofiness as Great Saiyaman, there's more to it than that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he's the Great Saiyaman, he's a superhero, but at the same time, he's also a really great character that is trying his best every day. And for me, that's the perfect type of role model you can have, like in that scenario, is someone who actually tries to do the right thing all the time. Like that's a great quality, and that's why Gohan has always stuck with me over the years. And yeah, the whole Super Sentai, like Power Rangers, Kamen Rider thing, that's the icing on an already great cake with Gohan. You know? It's cool. And that's probably part of the reason why I really started to like Gohan anyway, when they were basically doing like a Kamen Rider and Super Sentai parody with him being the Great Saiyaman. But there was just something about his character that just resonated with me so much as a kid and a teenager, that he's just like pretty much cemented his role for me between him and Vegeta, who had like the most character development out of any character, which is weird because Vegeta was the villain. Those two characters for me, they make Dragon Ball. Like they just do. I really think that broke somehow. I was supposed to build something, but it didn't let me build it. Unless I have to build it with a flash. No. See, it got messed up. There's nothing in here. Oh well. I don't know if you guys feel the same either. A lot of people like Goku, but that's just how I view Goku. He's like the lovable goofball that everybody loves, but he's just not... He's not a very good adult. Like, it's like he's forever trapped as being like... He's basically like Peter Pan. You know how Peter Pan could never grow up? Even though everybody likes Peter Pan, he's still Peter Pan. Everybody around him ages and matures and things like that. But for Peter Pan, outside of the Hook movie, which is fantastic, Peter never really grows up. Same thing with Goku. Goku gets married, has kids, but he still acts like a little kid himself. Which is, I don't know. To me, it's a little annoying. You can agree or disagree with me, that's fine. But that's my stance on it. Pretty much. It's that Saiyan instinct. I know. But I mean, I don't dislike Goku. It's just like, from an anime perspective, like, the main characters for me is Gohan and Vegeta. Like, they have character development. They have, like, worth as characters. They're great family men. They're great fathers. Great husbands. That's the kind of stuff that I wanted to look up to, especially when I was a young married person. Because you have to remember, I was young and married when the Dragon Ball stuff was still originally airing in America. Like, it hadn't finished its run yet. And then Dragon Ball Z Kai came out when I had been married for like 5 or 6 years or something like that. So, you know, it was... There wasn't that many, like, married men that were great examples from anime that I can think of. So I really was kind of like, wow, you know, these guys are actually... They're pretty decent dads, you know, to the extent. Like, Vegeta reminded me of my Uncle Ron. My Uncle Ron is a very strict father. He loves his kids, but he's super strict. Vegeta always seemed like he was very strict with Trunks and, you know, stuff like that. Whereas Goku is very lax with parenting. Piccolo is firm but caring. And Gohan is, like, with Pan, he's very protective of her. Not to the point of, like, joke-wise, but, like, you know, he wants to protect his family. His family is the reason why he does everything he does. His family is his driving force. Where Goku's driving force is, I'm going to protect the Earth and everybody in it, but you never hear him have any thoughts about family the way that Gohan, you know. Family is very, very important to Gohan. It's what drives him. He's kind of like the... No offense, but he's kind of like the Guile of Dragon Ball. He's the family man. He doesn't necessarily want to go out and fight, but if he has to protect his family, he will. Then, of course, he gets serious training later on in Dragon Ball Super again because he got kind of lax with it. Because, you know, the most important things to him, he already did all his fighting. The most important thing to him was just, like, being there for his family because his dad was not there for him. Goku died. When Gohan was, like, what, 4 years old? Goku died. And then when Goku came back, he got to be a dad for, like, a year or so inside the hyperbolic time chamber, and then he died again. And Gohan was without his dad for, like, 6 years, and he wasn't even there for his teenage years. The only father figure that Gohan had was Piccolo. Really. For his, like, adolescent years and stuff like that. And then when his dad came home for one day, Gohan was ecstatic to introduce Videl to his dad because he wanted his dad to meet Videl. You know, it was important to him. But, you know, it's a sad thing that Gohan had to experience because he didn't have his dad. Everybody else got to grow up with their dad. Gohan didn't. And I always felt bad for Gohan. I mean, sure, his dad's a hero, but, you know, he left everything, And remember when he had the opportunity to come back and be a dad? He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, I'm gonna stay here in Otherworld. And then Toriyama came up with all kinds of adventures with Goku being dead and stuff like that, but he chose to stay behind. So it's kind of like, oh, well, he did that. But that's because, you know, Saiyan instinct and a lot of other things. And also Goku's worried about the Earth always being attacked, and the responsibility of protecting the Earth falls on Goku's shoulders. So, I mean, his character has a point. His point is he's the protector of Earth. Whereas Gohan is not really the protector of the Earth. Gohan is the protector of his family. That's his priorities. And if you watch the Dragon Ball Super movie, like the superhero movie and other things, you can understand that Gohan's priorities is Videl and Pan. That's the only thing he cares about. That's why he fights as hard as he does, is he's trying to keep his family safe. It's not that he doesn't care about the world or anything like that. It's just his priorities is that of being a family man. That's all. And I think that's a great thing that he does. It resonates with me a little bit. Yoink. But anyway, I went off on a tangent talking about anime for quite a while. Sorry about that. I like anime. I know more about anime than I do Western stuff, because I watch so much of it. We don't even need Batman to do that. We could just blow this up with Penguin. So I didn't manage to get all the mini kits again. I must have missed some mini kits somewhere. I looked for them, but I couldn't find them all. I think we managed, yeah. I'm missing one mini kit, and I have no idea where it is. I did everything else, but these mini kits are always so hard to find, you know? They're just kind of a pain. I think that last mini kit glitched. I think it was that shiny door that we broke, and it didn't let me build it. I think that was mini kit number 10. Because all this other stuff is just studs and stuff. It's nothing else. Nothing else here of importance. that I can see. Yeah, Vegeta wasn't there for Trunks' birth, but he was there for Trunks' like life. Vegeta was off traveling. He was... I don't know what he was doing. He was doing something. The difference between Gohan and Trunks, though, is Trunks had a dad, like, for pretty much his whole life. There was only one instance where Vegeta was dead for, like, a little while. Like, literally, like, Trunks is the only... If we go by Dragon Ball Z to GT standards, Trunks is the only son of a Saiyan that the father was there when he was, like, 2 years old, to 6 years old, and then from 6 years old to a teenager. Goku didn't for any of his sons, he didn't... Well, actually, no. Goten. When Goku comes back after the Buu saga, he's actually able to see Goten from the age 6 to, like, being a teenager. So he's there for Goten. But yeah, it's a little different. But anyway, people, I've rambled enough. Your next stream is going to be starting up. It's Pokemon. So head on over to the next stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys had fun. The person that was... hopefully I didn't tune you off to anime with all my rambling. I would be what would be considered in Japan an otaku. Like, when I... When I really like something, or I get to talking about anime, like, I just, like, go all in, and I talk for a very long time about anime, and just get completely, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I lose track of time, and I just, you know, constantly talk about, because anime is such a big part of my life. Like, I've been watching anime since, like, probably 1988, off and on, because, I mean, there wasn't a lot of anime between, like, 1998 and 1996. There's been so much anime ever since, like, 2007 that I watch a lot of seasonal shows. A lot. It probably not a stretch to say that I've probably seen, like, 1,000 anime since, like, 1996. I watch a lot. I know just about as much as anime as I do gaming, and I've been a gamer for like 40 years. So, well, not 40, 30, 35 years I've been a gamer. I've been anime person for like 30 years exactly. So, but anyway, you guys will be redirected to Pokemon, and we're gonna see what that's like. Thank you guys for watching, and Lego Batman will continue tomorrow. Pokemon is next, so don't miss it. God bless. Happy gaming.